Okay, so you saw the thumbnail, read the title, and well, clicked on it. So already know we're going to be discussing today's banger of a video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the more underlining, and least touched upon for obvious reasons, matchups in the Boruto Naruto Next Generation series. Sarada Uchiha, daughter of Sasuke Uchiha, and chunin squad leader of the current iteration of Team 7 versus Mitsuki, well, whatever his last name is. Anyway, with Boruto and Kawaki having their own rivalry slash brotherhood thing going on, and that ordeal taking up the main screen time and discussion, Sarada and Mitsuki are kinda pushed to the side and left to fight over the leftovers, so consider this video the fight of the leftovers. So I asked you guys what you guys thought about the topic a few weeks ago, and Mitsuki ended up winning the poll, no surprise there. And for those of you out there thinking y'all are him, talking about some Mitsuki Sage Bowl bits, Sarada dead, yeah, I'm aware, but I still think this battle scenario can warrant some discussion, so this is what that is. Anyway, what's good YouTube is basically anime. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you have winning this unlikely matchup of teammates, and make sure to keep an open mind because we're really going to get into it with Sarada versus Mitsuki, honestly. Okay, so before we get into the actual battle scenario, I think it's important to review and analyze the abilities and skills of our two combatants. There will be video chapters on this one, so if you feel like skipping the explanation of the two, there we go. So starting off with Mitsuki, the artificially created son of Orochimaru, even though Orochimaru could probably get some if he wanted. Anyway, for starters, Mitsuki is an extremely talented shinobi for such a young age that he is in. He excels from the normal standards in every category. And I wouldn't go so far to label him as a prodigy because unlike Boruto, an actual prodigy, he was literally made by Orochimaru to be perfect and even surpassed his son in one day at his current power. But I would definitely take the path of labeling him as the perfect student. And even though he failed to gain the chunin rank due to the classic interruption of the Otsutsuki clan, he did make it to the finals, and it was clear to everyone that he already possessed chunin level skills as a young genin. Because he is a synthetic clone, he innately possesses massive amounts of chakra for his age, as he's able to achieve a special form of the Sage Mode transformation. The same transformation which required the users to have extreme levels of chakra and a body resilient enough to support it. And we know from Kabuto's words during his fight with Sasuke and Itachi that a post-second great ninja war Orochimaru, meaning at the time he was already declared by Hanzo to be a Sanin, one of the 3 most powerful ninja in the shinobi world at the time. Well, he had found the Ryuchu snake cave and had the ability to mold Senjutsu chakra, but wasn't able to attain the stage form because his body couldn't tolerate it. Yet with Mitsuki, he had already attained a semi-resilient body from creation. Orochimaru must have learned from his failures in life. Another set of benefits that comes with his genetically perfect synthetic body is his inhuman mutations. He can heal minor to severe injuries like losing a limb at rapid speeds, can morph his fingernails into claws, possesses supervision as well as super hearing, animal communication, strong and human durability, stronger immune systems, and if you thought that was enough buffs, he can also go without eating or drinking like forever. So Mitsuki got it maxed out when it comes to his attributes, on top of enhanced strength and above all enhanced speed. When it comes to Mitsuki, his agility along with his inhuman movements allow him to slip past his opponent's defensive. Just his overall speed, which has been noted and recognized by the likes of Sarada herself, is a huge staple in Mitsuki's fighting style. But, as we all know, Mitsuki's biggest advantage and edge and just secret weapon in his arsenal is his Sage Mode transformation. And notice how I'm saying the word transformation instead of form, because in all the times we have seen Mitsuki employ the use of Sage Mode, he was also using Sage transformation. Now if we take a quick look back at Naruto Shippuden, Sage transformation, a skill native to Jugo's clan, is another way to employ the use of Sage energy besides the traditional Sage teaching way. This variation of Sage Mode is more of a bodily reaction to Sage energy, which gives the user several physical transformation and buffs. In Mitsuki's case, it gives him a horn on his head and multiple chakra snakes eroding from his body that he controls, unlike the bodily usage of Sage energy akin to Sage Mode. But because our mad scientist Orochimaru really took the time to buff Mitsuki in any way he could think of, Mitsuki can employ the use of both Sage Mode and Sage transformation. And he tends to use both of them at the same time, which gives us the more raw look of his Sage Mode and insane amounts of power it wields. Power we'll touch more on in the battle scenario portion of the video. But because Orochimaru has never really been known to have an anywhere near perfect creation, Anko, you suck. Mitsuki's body can employ the use of both for only so much time. I mean, without having the risk of his cells breaking down and organs damaging beyond repair, so there's that. But to be fair, Mitsuki didn't have such a limit on his power. The series would probably been about him instead of Boruto. He also possesses both wind and lightning release jutsu, as well as the soft physique modification technique, which turns him to a bootleg version of Mr. Fantastic, and allows him to stretch his limbs to incredible lengths at pretty high speeds, along with some skill in medical ninjutsu and of course, the hereditary snake usage. But if we're being honest, in the world like Boruto, ninjutsu really doesn't take that much importance in battle, so moving on to Sarada. Now, Sarada Uchiha is recognized to be an elite intelligent shinobi with high talent, who excels in pretty much every average standard that is used to evaluate her. She was also regarded to have chunin level leadership skills as a genin by Konoha higher-ups like Naruto, Sai, and Shikamaru. And we do have that one anime only, again I say anime only, statement from Sasuke, who claims Sarada is stronger and more skilled than her father when she was at his age, which I personally find to be both credible and reasonable. As Uchiha with powerful chakra and decent control over it that was inherited from her mother, she was able to develop chakra enhanced punches that was able to open craters in the ground as a genin, just like the Kuno Ichi who came before her. After training more with Sakura, a master at chakra punches and chakra control, she increased her control over her chakra and refined the strength of her punches to the point she was able to damage Deepa, a member of Kara's carbon defense. And mind you, this was the same defense that was tanking stuff like Boruto's regular and compressed Rasengan, which is more stronger than his base version. And to no surprise, as she is in Uchiha, she possesses the world famous Sharingan, one of the 3 great dojutsu, and she actually uses it pretty well. With this, she has an increased capacity of visual perception, a capacity for genjutsu, microscope-like visuals, and the ability to copy the hand seals of her opponent, and with the hand seals, the jutsu, after just seeing it one time. By the time Jigen had invaded Konoha, meaning the Boro fight, she was shown to have unlocked the 3 tomo of her base Sharingan, or at least that was what was shown in the manga. But the most important and greatest, or at least this video, technique in her arsenal is the Chidori. From Kakashi, to Sasuke, then on to Sarada, all 3 people seem to be extremely adept at using a failed lightning style Rasengan. By employing the use of her Sharingan, which like I said heightens her visual perception skills, she can use the famed lightning release assassination jutsu to attack her opponents with a lot of piercing power at high speeds. As we see in the Boro fight, Sarada's first time using the Chidori in epic fashion by the way, easily surpassed Boro's reaction speed and durability, and this is a card member stated to have monstrous power and the ability to contend with a 6-pack Naruto. But we will expand more on this iconic and power-packing attack of hers in the battle portion of the video, which we'll get into now. Okay. I'm aware that for starting off with Mitsuki at his strongest, which is him in Sage Mode, he absolutely embarrasses Sarada and probably kills her without even trying. I mean, is it even a competition or even a discussion? Sage Mode Mitsuki will always win against her current Sarada, hands down. If we just take a look at Mitsuki's first showing of this form, he had clearly and unmistakably blitzed a Boruto era Orochimaru, who is portrayed to be up there with the likes of Naruto and Sasuke, not in the same tier but up there with the dynamic duo. And mind you, that was before the nerfs came with Naruto losing Kurama and Sasuke losing the Rinnegan. But in this case, that same Orochimaru didn't even notice Mitsuki had moved from his original spot. Yes, it was that bad of a blitz. And for the record, just in case I need to spell it out, Orochimaru absolutely destroyed Sarada when it came to, well, anything, and would obviously be able to react and blitz Sarada in any way. I mean, a Sage Mode Mitsuki vs Sarada would be Orochimaru's way of getting revenge on Sasuke for the time he jumped him in Shippuden. So yeah, I'm not totally lost when I recognize how one-sided this fight would be if we started out Mitsuki in Sage Mode. And when it comes to their base forms, which includes a no Chidori Sarada, I generally see the two as being comparable. I mean, you would have to analyze every single anime only combat situation they've been in to actually find a clear difference when scaling them, because like I've said, they've already been pushed to the side, so they've never really been given crazy feats in their base that sets them apart. But in a battle scenario where they both started out on their base, Mitsuki would still have to activate this stage transformation for him to reap the benefits of this power as the fight starts. Which then leaves the question, and actually opens up a discussion for the fight between the two. Can Sarada find some way to prevent Mitsuki or even take him down before he activates his Sage Mode? And with that, ladies and chads, we actually have a scenario to talk about in this video, because a Sage Mode Mitsuki vs Sarada, I mean, that's something even Sakura and the entire Konoha medical staff would be able to fix. Now for this particular battle scenario, probably won't require too much digging, because the victory of the fight really revolves around one aspect, attack speed. Because like I just established, Sarada doesn't even have the smallest chance of beating a Sage Mode Mitsuki, while also acknowledging in a battle scenario, Mitsuki still has to transform into a Sage Mode for him to win. Now when it comes to transformations in anime, we tend to start off the series with the characters having to struggle or really charge up their powers for battle, with some of the most popular examples being when Naruto was clearly struggling and using intense emotion to charge up some of the 9-tails chakra multiple times throughout part 1, or when Naruto had to gather natural energy to access Sage Mode for his fight against Pain. Or if you want to be more general when it comes to anime, even literally countless transformations in Dragon Ball Z, where the characters have to charge up their ki most of the time through sheer willpower or strong emotions. But fast forward a couple of sequels, and Naruto's accessing his strongest forms like KCM2 and 6-pack Sage Mode instantly like they're nothing. And if they're doing that in Shippuden, you know for sure that transformations in Boruto, like Mitsuki's Sage Mode, activates even faster than that. As was shown in his origin episode with Orochimaru Log, as well as his fight with Ku, the clone of Inoki, and his fight with Deepa, a member of Kara. And while 2 out of the 3 showings were anime only, well, it's Boruto, so you can't really scale anything without talking anime canon. Anyway, in all those showings, Mitsuki was shown to activate his base Sage Mode with no passage of time being defined throughout the transformation. So instantly is instantly. Of course, unless there was an opponent who may have a speed that trumps Mitsuki's reaction time, and with that, Mitsuki's transformation to Sage Mode. Meet Sarada Uchiha. Now it goes without saying that Sarada with her strongest showing has the highest attack speed out of Team 7 in their base. And when I say strongest showing, I'm referring to her epic Chidori moments in the Boro fight. Now the reason why this Chidori was so epically pivotal to their fight was because it fit the perfect criteria for their battle plan. It was a high piercing power jutsu fast enough to surpass Boro's reaction speed and hand signs, which then prevented him from shifting the scientific ninja tool that helped him regenerate around his body. And if Boro wasn't being such a jerk and didn't end up going berserk afterwards and just stayed down, then it would have been the jutsu that saved the day in everyone's lives, including Naruto, the 7th Hokage. So if we look at the anime, which I would recognize as the better adaptation for this moment, not only did Sarada bliss Boro in his reaction speed, but there's a frame in that sequence which shows her racing past a base Mitsuki and Kawaki without them being able to perceive what just happened, as we then see a frame of the two just reacting to her after she had already sped past them. So when accounting all of that, it translates to Sarada's story not only surpassing everyone's reaction speed, but obviously far surpassing everyone's attack speed in their base. And with that said, a Sharingan plus Chidori Sarada versus a base Mitsuki will be continuing her father's legacy with a Sasuke versus Orochimaru with the next generations, and we all remember how that went the first time. But back to Mitsuki with Sage Mode. So if this attack of Sarada already surpasses Mitsuki's reaction speed, then some could say it shouldn't be much of a problem for her to bliss Mitsuki before you even activate Sage Mode. Well, sorry to inform y'all, but no, there is still a huge complication in that scenario, and said huge complication would be her hand signs. Now, as the series of Naruto progressed, the importance of hand signs diminished as it went along. From people having to memorize and utilize hand signs to perform specific jutsus, to people being able to do it one-handed, and now with the most powerful and most used techniques not even requiring one at all. But in Sarada's case, as she is still mastering the jutsu, and all the times we have seen her use it, hand signs were still employed. And it just happens to be that in this exact Boro fight, the speed of hand signs was so heavily focused on. Because if you take an actual look at the manga as Sarada is rushing forward, she mentioned that there is a jutsu, said jutsu being the Chidori, that will be faster than the hand sign weaving of Boro, which then places a clear difference in the speed of hand signs and the faster speed of the Chidori. So while the Chidori may surpass a base Mitsuki's reaction speed, and with that his instantaneous activation of Sage Mode, it's clear that the hand signs required to use his jutsu wouldn't. And a no hand sign Chidori is just something we haven't seen from Sarada as of yet. So summing up the battle scenario of a Chidori Sarada vs Mitsuki, Sarada would instantly go for the Chidori, and with that the Chidori hand signs, in order for her to use the only jutsu in the arsenal that could stand a chance at stopping Mitsuki. But because Mitsuki is able to activate Sage Mode before she can get the Chidori off, well, unfortunately for Sasuke, he becomes the last Uchiha alive again. This practically results in a no-diff Mitsuki dub. So when it comes to the one aspect of attack speed, while Sarada may surpass Mitsuki's reaction speed when she's using the Chidori, there is still a difference in speed from the hand signs to the actual Chidori. And in that small time window, Mitsuki would have already activated Sage Mode, which means game over. Now to completely cover every possible scenario this fight can go in, I want to quickly bring up a skill of Sarada's, which is Genjutsu, which he primarily uses through her Sharingan. Now in a typical 1v1 scenario, Sarada and Mitsuki would have a decent amount of space between them, and they would obviously be facing each other. And as we've seen countless of times in Naruto Shippuden, when the Uchiha would engage in combat, it really only takes one look, just one tiny glance at those infamous red eyes, it would be instantly put under a Genjutsu. And while Mitsuki could probably break out of a Genjutsu of Sarada's if he was caught in it, it would take some amount of time, which Sarada would use to blitz him with the Chidori. Overall, as we saw in the Kakashi along with Kurenai and Asuma vs Itachi fight, where a guy did have to come and save them in early part 1, it really takes someone with an extensive background with the Sharingan and how it works to figure out a way to combat them without even looking at their eyes. An extensive background that Mitsuki actually possesses. Because if you take a second look at the Boro fight, one of the most important aspects of the fight was Boro's poison, the microscopic substance that Boro would release into his surroundings and use it to weaken and even kill his opponents that would get close to him. So before the poison was officially revealed, Mitsuki, being the smartest member of Team 7, had formulated a solution which involved Sarada using her Sharingan to analyze the substance through a microscopic view. And Mitsuki even tells Sarada in this panel that that is something her Sharingan should be able to do, which Sarada agreed to. I mean, Mitsuki was low-key mansplaining the Sharingan to Sarada, a Sharingan user. But yeah, this exchange overall clearly shows Mitsuki and his extensive knowledge of Sarada Sharingan and its limits. So based off this, I think it would be safe to say that not only would Mitsuki safeguard himself from a Sharingan Genjutsu, actually find a way to counter this. As we have seen from many of Mitsuki's combat counters, he's really both a mid-range and a close-range specialist. So he really doesn't need to get into a more dangerous range of the Sharingan, especially with those stretchy, quick arms of his. Now to wrap it all up. It is of my opinion that a base Mitsuki and Sarada are comparable. A Chidori Sarada puts base Mitsuki back into Orochimaru's lap for repairs through her overwhelming attack speed, but a Sage Mode Mitsuki vs Sarada makes Danzo a proud man with the Naruto Uchiha dead due to his overwhelming attack speed. So in a no holds barred, no limits, bloodlusted battle, Mitsuki gets that dub. Cue the Mitsuki's fans raising their egos. And it does look like Orochimaru has finally created an actual W. So with all that said, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Boruto content, as well as more 1v1 videos. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a banger of an upload, and most importantly, make sure to follow the Twitter for more from me. And comment down below who you have winning this fight, even though it should be the man Mitsuki, and if you think Sarada will ever get to a point where she is clearly stronger than her fellow squad mate. And yeah, Mitsuki probably the most hardcore fanboy in anime. Have a nice day.